Sir, I agree Islam is the only religion of God. Then why today Islam followers are suffering in the world?
Mr. Because of people wrong behavior. First Allah sent Prophet Moses to take care of children of Israel from the oppression of Pharaoh, and after gave the commands of Torah to fulfill the religion of Abrahamic monotheism responsibility to nation of Moses. But after Moses except few of them followed, others rejects of command had to face the punishment of Allah. Then Jesus came with Bible for the same purpose. People of Jesus didn't follow as required. Then Allah sent his last prophet Muhammad, until the last day of this world for his religion's commands for deliver to mankind's around the world. Today followers of the last prophet Muhammad also ignored the commands of Allah for their worldly temptations and personal greeds. They lost the benefits of the religion. To grasp the benefits, first the followers of last prophet Muhammad have to apply commands of Allah and prophet teachings in their actions, before they preach to others. Then people able to acknowledge the light and wisdom of the truth, so people can admire the tranquility and success of the nation. People can inspires with the nation. Before Muslims tell to anyone about Islam, they should implement the forbid evil, accept good in their life according to laws of Allah, Quran and teachings of last prophet Muhammad. And Muslims should make sure for their success to follow Allah and his last prophet Muhammad teachings. Never mind illiterate Muslims who didn't have a chance to learn about Islam, but how about modern well-mannered educated Muslims who are ignoring to get knowledge about the laws of Allah and his last prophet Muhammad teachings? And being Muslims should implement in their actions. Whenever Muslims want to practice Islam, and they follow the Islam without learning themselves, and they start follow other Muslims around them blindly regardless knowing they are right or wrong in their religions practice, and they become emotional in the love of Islam. They ready to die for Allah and his prophet anytime, but lazy to apply Islam in their life, and without getting right knowledge of Islam they love to teach others benefits and wisdom of Islam around the world on internet about Quran and teachings of last prophet Muhammad. Millions of Muslims know the beautiful recitation of Quran. As Prophet Muhammad said, time will come Muslim will have Quran in their throats but not in their actions. As we know, Muslims fail to apply Islam in their life, but we can see life of the Prophet Muhammad. He applied the revelation of Allah in his actions before he started to preaching others. Prophet Muhammad life is the best example for humanity of revelation of Allah to show the world the reality of Islam. Indeed, it's from the divine power Allah the Almighty Creator. When people started acknowledging the light and wisdom of success in the Muslim's life, the followers of Islam, whenever non-believers in the search of God, and they study the Quran and the teachings of the last prophet Muhammad and comparison of religions anywhere in the world, and they find the truth about the religion of Islam. Islam is the only religion from divine power Allah, the Almighty Power, and his last prophet is Muhammad, and then they accept Islam as their religion. History witnesses, when Muslims were living on the peak of their success in the past, regardless of their status poor or rich, as long they were living according to the commands of Allah and the teachings of the last prophet Muhammad, they had success and tranquility in their life. We all know the commands of Allah are the keys of success and peace for humanities, regardless of any religion. We all know if anyone able to live according to the will of Allah during the lifetime, it means he is living under the shade of Allah the Almighty Power. As long person is following the Islamic law, Sharia and teachings of Prophet, he is putting his best efforts to pleasing Allah. He will never be a loser in his life ever, and he has full blessings here and hereafter. When a person wants to follow his way of life for his worldly gain or his survival against the will of Allah, in these situations, he faces difficulties in this life. He suffers from different challenges, and he faces all kinds of losses during his survival. He thinks this is part of the game of my life, or maybe my bad luck, or Allah is testing me. Many Muslims, with their actions against the will of Allah, and they expect to get comfortable blessed life under the title of Muslim. Still, this title of Muslims in the Holy Quran calls hypocrites. The reason for failure Muslims today is not following the laws of Allah and his prophet teachings during his worldly life. As I mentioned, all his hard work and his successful affairs with the wrong way of dealings, and he ignores. He forgets the punishment of Allah, and he thinks Allah is supporting him in his wrong way of dealings are the blessings of Allah. Also, he thinks because of his education and smartness, and he achieved all his success. That's why many Muslims, for their greed, they go against the will of Allah, and they forget the punishment of Allah here and hereafter. Muslims fail to take care of their responsibilities for religion. If you ask any Hindu, Christians or Jews, God can be a supporter of liar or cheaters, they will say never. Nowadays, around the world, many Muslims are suffering and paying the price, and many of them have to pay the severest hereafter as well. They never are successful in their life regardless of their status or wealth they gained, if they don't change the way of their life and their attitude according to the laws of Allah and the teachings of His Prophet. Today Muslims are ignoring the responsibilities the religion which Allah gave them, likewise, other nations, Jews and Christians. Allah made Muslims command forbid evil and accept good. Allah gave Muslims the responsibility of taking care of entire humanity according to the laws of Allah and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad to humanity regardless of the people's status, poor or rich. Without any discrimination, no one is superior to anyone in status or complexion, brown, black or white in Islam. All the Muslims should treat equally to each other, as Prophet said, all the Muslims are like the teeth of a comb. If humans want to live a successful life in the world, they have to live according to the commands of Allah and His last Prophet Muhammad teachings. Allah made the last Prophet Muhammad the best example for humanity's success. In the past, as long Muslims were working in their life with the commands of Allah and following the teachings of the last Prophet Muhammad, as history tells us, Muslims were the most respected successful leaders of the world in all the aspects, because of their focus was to apply the commands of Allah and the teachings of the last Prophet in their life. Furthermore, without any war, many countries accepted Islam. One of the largest populated Muslim countries, Indonesia, and many other countries accepted Islam because of Muslims' behavior, right attitudes, and honest dealings. Their actions were according to the Islamic laws. We should use common sense. Do we have any choice to apply any government law the way we want? If we say no, then how about the laws of Allah, the Almighty Creator? Being a Muslim, how we can ignore the laws of Allah? We are not obeying Allah the way we are supposed to be. That's why Muslims are oppressed and tortured around the world, because they are going far from the protection and blessings of Allah. Looks like nowadays they are no longer under the shade of Allah. They are suffering, and don't realize, still, they are not ready to apply the complete commands of Allah according to the last Prophet Muhammad's teachings. Instead of following laws of Allah according to the last Prophet teachings, people divided into the sects and following their misguided preachers' teachings, many of them appointed by anti-Islamic sources. Muslims forget the purpose of their life and the power and controls of the King of the Kings, the King's Maker, Almighty Creator Allah. As you know, entire universe, galaxies, sun, moon, stars, and our world, sea world, and all the existence, creations, and all the creatures obeying precisely laws of Allah, and all these existences submission to Allah, in Arabic called Muslim. Allah gave free will to entire humanity, engines to test their deeds and actions. In the past, time after time, Allah gave the responsibility of His commands to different nations to take care of humans through the prophets, and sent the revelations through the scrolls, books, Torah, and Bible. Still, people follow the cultures and misguided preachers. They change their focus against the commands of Allah and the Prophet's teachings, and they abuse the laws of Allah and the Prophet's teachings. Today Muslims also love to follow the culture and their preachers. Still, they want to give the title of Muslims and ultimately ignore the many forbidden things from their actions. The breaking laws of Allah aggressively under the label of modern and well move in the society, and they forget the return to Allah and punishment in the past of the nations severely by natural disasters and diseases and all kinds of calamities. And Allah gave last chance with full support to guide the humanity through the revelation of the Quran and last Prophet Muhammad teachings, so humans cannot be looser and suffer in any era. Muslims should help to guide the peoples and save from the anger and punishment of Allah, such as all types of sufferings, calamities, and natural disasters until the last day of this world.
Sir, as I heard, there are millions of Muslims who know the whole Quran by heart, and most of the Muslims read every day. Many of them know Hadith, the last Prophet Muhammad teachings as well.
Mister, you are right. Some Muslims love to read the Quran every day and the teachings of the Prophet. Still, they completely ignore the understanding and implementation of the Quran and the guidance of the last Prophet Muhammad. As we know, without the knowledge of understanding, they cannot bring Quran and Prophet teachings in their actions. How they will able to get blessings of Allah without applying the guidance and teachings of last Prophet Muhammad in their efforts to please Allah?
Sir, I don't understand. What do you mean by Muslims have to take care of the entire humanity until the last day of this world when they are suffering here in the world?
Mr. Muslims have the responsibility to give the real message of Allah, the Abraham monotheism, oneness of Allah, the God of Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus and Muhammad. They all have the same God, Allah, and there is no prophet after Prophet Muhammad. If any society or culture wants to damage humans, the best creation of Allah, Many of the people under the label of modern Muslims promote non-permissible things and activities. Allah gave Muslims the responsibility to teach the commands of Allah from the Quran and teachings of the last Prophet Muhammad. Still, many of them love to teach from their idea. All humanity should obey and surrender themselves to their Creator, Allah, by following the Quran and teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Many of the Muslims are changing the focus of their lives. They do not realize being Muslims, the direction of their life should be Islam.
Sir, as I know, over 1.7 billion people is Muslims, many of them submit to Allah 5 times every day.
Mr. I wished Muslims would submit purely alone to Allah the way Prophet Muhammad's teachings are required. Muslims will be one of the nations under the shade of Allah. People have a wrong impression about Muslims around the world today. Whoever study Islam, then they find out the truth of Islam. Since Prophet Adam to the last Prophet Muhammad, Islam is the religion of Allah represented by different prophets. Whoever follows, he gets the benefits. People should not judge the religion of Islam from the Muslims' actions, but today some of the Muslims love to move with those who are earning the anger of Allah. As I mentioned above, the Muslim title was given by Allah to Prophet Abraham when he proved to fulfill all the commands of Allah. He is the one who set the example of Muslim, how Muslims supposed to be. All the prophets and their faithful followers call Muslim. It means whoever obeys, trusts, and believes on Allah and His prophets. Similarly, the way all existence is obeying Allah, all humanity required to submit and obey to Creator alone, not the creations. Muslims should submit to Allah independently instead of any pious person, pir or mullah. Nowadays, many Muslims against their faith started worshipping to person alive or dead. Even they worship graves. If Muslims seek help from the creation instead of Allah, there is no difference between Muslim or non-Muslim. If Muslim worships alone to Allah, then he will be protected from the punishment of Allah in this life or life after death.
Sir, you are explained to me clear views of loyal followers of Islam, how they supposed to be. Then why too many branches started in Islam?
Mr. These days, Muslims don't try to understand the sincerity of worshipping to Allah, and regardless any Muslim belongs to any sect, loves the last Prophet Muhammad and his teachings.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها.
Do they not then reflect on the Quran? Or are there locks upon their hearts?
واتبعوا أحسن ما أنزل إليكم من ربكم من قبل أن يأتيكم العذاب بغتة وأنتم لا تشعرون.
Follow the Quran, the best of what has been revealed to you from your Lord, before the punishment takes you by surprise while you are unaware.
For more informative videos, please do subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for all upcoming videos notification. Like this video and share with your family and friends.
I suggest you to read Quran in your language for more understanding of Almighty God Allah.
For more information visit ishtyanigod.com.